All right, Shalom. I'll let it start up saying Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harukak Wadash, my month. Double honor to the elder apostle of the great millstone and my elder Herawan as well. Salutation to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Kanaks on Bon Yasharala from the minds in the Yasharala camp. And this lesson is a big one. It's like it. It says Ukraine war. Growing Russia-Iran ties pose new danger. Now this the one right here. I ain't gonna make this one too long. I was actually supposed to do this one last night and ended up falling asleep. But this is the one. I did a one last week talking about the meeting that Vladimir Putin had with the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Which was a kind of a big deal. But if Iran and Russia strengthen their ties, and the reason why they're strengthening their ties in this situation, this is the kicker right here. We've been talking about, you know, Ezekiel 38 and the things that are leading up to Ezekiel 38. Um, but this is a game changer right here, man, because Iran, who are, you know, 100% enemies to the United States, is now supplying much needed weaponry to Russia. The elder Ahara Wan, he had spoke about this about a month ago on how certain I don't know if it's satellites or what exactly it was. He was the elder was saying, but certain things that Russia can't do, they have to bring certain planes out of the sky or something like that. But North Korea and Iran were able to help with their system to help them not have to take planes out of simultaneously do some sort of a attacks, whether with drones or satellites or something. I forgot exactly what it was. Hopefully this article explains it and goes into it a little bit. It says Ukraine war, growing Russia Iran ties pose new dangers. Right? It says for years the headlines have uncovered the controversies over advanced Russian air defense systems heading to Iran. Now, the arms traffic is very much in the other direction, writes Jonathan Marcus of the Strategy of Security Institute, University in Exeter. Iranian supplied drones are being used by Moscow to terrorize Ukraine's civilians and to strike at country's electricity generating and distribution systems. Russia, um, per, the- per this, Slovakia, Russia's predecessor in Ukraine has promoted Moscow to turn to Tehran for stocks of precision-guided weapons. Its own arsenals running are fast running out. All right. There have been a number of instances where coastal defense and air defense missiles have been used by the Russians to strike at land targets in Ukraine, a role for which they are not base suited. Transport flights have been monitored to Russia, heading from Iran to Russia. Reports from U.S. sources suggest that Iranian trainers from from the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, have deployed to a base in Crimea to teach Russian personnel how to operate the system. It says wreckage from drones have been shot down both Iranian Shahed 131 loitering munitions and the larger Shahed 136 have been analyzed there is no doubt that Tehran, despite its denials, is compensating for a significant shortfall in Russia's arsenal. This is clearly not good news for Ukraine or the US and NATO. While a significant number of Iranian supplied drones have been shot down, there could be worse to come. It says Iran has more capable loitering munitions in its arsenal, and there are fears that even more dangerous Iranian weapons, ballistic missiles, could soon be on their way to Russia. These carry much larger warheads than the drones, and Ukraine's anti-ballistic missile capability is limited. This would add a new level of complexity to Western efforts to bolster Ukraine's anti-air and anti-missile defense. All right. So initially, and why wouldn't Iran want to help Russia? Because if you think about it, if Russia gets more of a dominant role as a powerhouse, all right, within the earth, then hey, we helped you out. Let us enrich our uranium so we can start stockpiling nuclear weapons. Because the two major holders of the nuclear stockpiles are the United States and Russia. So with that being said, Iran has been trying to make nuclear deals for about 30, 40, some odd years, you know, but haven't been able to because each regime after regime after regime in the United States will not allow them to enrich their uranium so they can start producing nuclear weapons because of the threat that the world feels that basically America wants them the only ones to have the nuclear weapon. but you're not going to be able to stop Russia. We're not going to be able to pimp Russia like you're pimping Iran. Promise them this, promise them that. If they do this, that, and the third, they'll be able to you know be able to start making nuclear weapons. You know, but if Russia has a more dominant force within that, Russia will probably allow Iran to because Iran has the same plight as Russia. They just want to defend themselves against NATO. Right now, they have no way of defending themselves against a nuclear onslaught against NATO or America. So, why does America have to be the number one key holder in the nuclear arms race? So, with Russia having more say so in what goes on in world politics, um, it opens up the door for Iran to be able to, what they say, to protect themselves. And which, in actuality, it is. Why does America have to be the peacekeeper when they shed the most blood from continent to continent than any other nation? America has done some more bloodshed than any nation on this earth, man. Esau has done more bloodshed than any nation on this earth um because the Lord gave him the power to do so, man. And it all started with Alexander, and it's gonna end with Russia bombing America. Let me get something real quick before I go on more into the article. I want to get a scripture. This is Revelation, um, chapter 6, verse 4. It says, "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat on him to take peace from the earth, and they should kill one another. And there was given him a great sword." All right, and that started with the Greek Empire, or mainly Esau. All right, when that great sword is an instrument of destruction. All right, so now fast forward to today's times, that sword is going to be these missiles. All right, and that's the weapon of the Lord's indignation. That's what's going to be brought forth, destroyed. The Lord's going to Yahweh Shem Shai is going to denuclearize the whole earth. Every last missile that's been made since the introduction of the atomic bomb back in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II is going to be used. The Lord's going to make sure they are being used for this end all tell all war. And that's what we're leading into, man. All right. So ever since Esau has came into power, right? Greeks, Romans, the only thing they had on their mind is bloodshed, kill, steal, and destroy. In America, what are they doing? They're the hammer of the earth. And who's swinging that hammer? NATO and the European Union. So this is, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And that is the patience and the faith of the saints. We read these articles, right? And what do we see? We see the Lord talking to us, telling us, "Hey, you see this prophecy right here unfolding? That means I'm on my way. Be patient." These are the things that we hear, and these are the things that we put on these videos, giving hope unto the elect, man. The ones that want to see this happen, the ones that want to see America destroyed, because you got some of our nation, some of our people in these other nations that feel like America can't be taken down, and or they don't want America to be taken down. They want Babylon to continue on forever. But we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. All right. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 11. It says, "Seeing all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" Man? What manner of person? What is your action supposed to be? Are you supposed to be? Are you supposed to be the one that's trying to get the defibrillator to America? Are you the one yelling clear, clear, trying to shock this thing back to life? Or are you the one that's pulling the plug on this place, man? Waiting for America to be destroyed, man. Waiting for the returning of our Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And that's what we're looking forward to, man. That's the chariot showing up and all out nuclear destruction going on in this place. It says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness," man. All right, so that's why we diligently seek out these prophecies and we diligently put it out there to warn the people, the ones that are meant to be warned, and show and tell them how to get to safety. So the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe, man. But with that being said, you have 2/3 of our people that want, in some way, shape, or form, wants to see this continue and go forth, man. All right. So going back to the article, it says new tensions, but what of the wider ramifications of this deepening relationship between Moscow and Tehran? It says there could be implications for the future of the moribund nuclear agreement between the international community and, see, I was just saying that, and Tehran. Furthermore, the delicate balance of force in Syria could be altered with significant consequences for Israel and in turn for its relationship with Moscow. Clearly, both Russia and Iran need friends. They are both isolated in battle. And so Russia is facing economic sanctions due to its aggression against Ukraine, a war which is not going well for Moscow. Iran's regime is also under sanctions for its nuclear program and human rights record. It's facing a massive discontent at home. They are both part of a small club of authoritarian nations, along with China, that seek not just to pursue their own regional strategic goals, but also, more broadly, to strike back against what they see as U.S. dominant global order. and that's why. And with Iran, China, and Russia, Russia leading the charges, is all going to Ezekiel 38, man. And you have a lot of these nations that are pulling away from the dollar, and pulling and not abiding by these sanctions that are hit with Russia, creating bilateral deals, right? Is a game changer for the United States because they don't have the power that they once had, where whatever America says go. Now these countries are saying, "Let the weak say I am strong." Whatever we say go. So now that America can't pull the strings as it was once pulling at one point in time. So now what's going to happen? America's losing its power. That goes back to all Isaiah chapter 14. Has thou become weak as what? Us? Or have thou become weak as we? Have thou come like unto us, man? And that's why you're seeing um the layers of the onion being pulled back on America, and these other nations seeing America for what it is. Without the dollar and NATO, it's nothing. So soon you're going to see NATO start pulling away from America. NATO's not going to be that big brother to America as it once was. So these like, so you seeing China being um elevated as an economical world power. So with that economical world, who controls the money controls the world. So the European Union was using America to put fear in everybody, and they were controlling it, that fear, with the dollar. But now what's happening is the dollar's not being sought out. The America's losing its special drawing rights. All right, in this basket of currency, and there's going to be a new powerhouse currency that evolves and is looking more like the digital yuan. So China is going to be set up as that new economical financier or world power, or whore, um that's going to ride on the beast. But ultimately, what's going to happen is this whole system is going to be destroyed from the inside out by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is the reason why these prophecies are coming to pass. Yeah, it looks like China is going to be the next powerhouse, but the rug is going to be pulled from up under them also. It says uh, Russia is facing economic sanctions due to its aggression against Ukraine, a war which is not going well for Moscow, which is not true. Because they're getting so much support from around the world, man, that if Russia fails, another country is going to step up in its place. Because if the whole world is seeing what's happening, the pushback from the big bully NATO and the United States, and the whole world's been wanting this to happen for a while, but nobody had the balls but Vladimir Putin to bring this forth, and he didn't get the balls to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua put the spirit in him to think the evil thought. And that evil thought hasn't really transpired yet, because he's going to say, I am going to go to a city in the unwalled villages. That's going to be America. All right. It says they are both part of a small club of authoritarian nations, along with China, that seek not just to pursue their own regional strategic goals, but also more broadly to strike back against what they see as United States dominating global order. Iran's security clampdown at home has already drawn additional economic sanctions from the West. Now its weapons transfers to Russia are being seen by the United Kingdom and France as a breach of UN Security Council Resolution 2031 that was passed in the wake of the 2015 nuclear deal. It said this could potentially lead to some nuclear-related sanctions being restored. These new tensions will further undermine efforts to return to the JCPOA, the international deal designed to constrain Iran's nuclear activities, which was abandoned by the Trump administration in 2018. Right, I forgot about that. I forgot about when Trump was in office. he banned that nuclear deal with Iran. It says efforts to restore the deal have lapsed at least until after the the U.S. midterm election of November. I'm slacking. Explaining some stuff, boy. Meanwhile, Iran has continued to make progress in enrichment activities. The Iran nuclear disorder uh, is a looming shadow for the West as it focus is firmly fixed upon Ukraine, Russia, one of the key parties of the original deal, is hardly going to pressure its new arms supplier to give ground. Right. So there's a lot more. Well, a little bit more. I guess I'll continue it out. It says Syria factor. Nonetheless, the relationship between Moscow and Tehran is driven by circumstance rather than any deep ideological bond. Russia's relationship with Iran has has long had a measure of ambivalence, and good example is their differing ambitions in Syria. Russia's military intervention saved the Assad regime. Iranian manpower, weaponry, and militias were also crucial to its survival. But Russia, which still maintains a presence in Syria, has never been enthusiastic about Tehran's regional ambitions there. However, it is not acted to contain Iranian influence in quite the way Israel would have wished. That said, it has done little to toward Israel airstrikes aimed at reversing Iran's buildup in Syria. All right, and you know that's critical with that one of the last prophecies is Iran and Israel going head on, which is going to draw NATO and the European Union and America into the war because you have the EU developing their own military also, getting prepared for what's to come. You know, so it says is Israel's tricky balance act over Ukraine. Could the new dynamic in Russia-Iran relations change this? While some Russian air defense and troops have been removed from Syria, Moscow still has the capacity to interfere with Israeli operations. This has been one of the guiding concerns influencing Israel's tentative support for Ukraine. But what of the future? Suppose, for example, that Russia decides to transfer even more advanced weaponry to Iran in return for its assistance. What then? Might this prompt a shift in Israel's attitude to Kiev? That, for now, with the Israeli general election looming, seems unlikely, but the new Russia-Iran relationship has the potential to impact global affairs way beyond the war in Ukraine. And that's what this is initially boiling down to. Like the elder said, the least of them shall draw them out, man. America's gonna be pulled into this war, and that's what Ukraine wanted from the beginning. They want troops on the ground, and Apostles did a lesson that there very well may be troops on the ground, American troops on the ground in Ukraine. But they want to see more involvement from NATO and Russia. They want to see nuclear strikes in tactical. All right, and this is all unfolding to the salvation of the elect, man, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So we look forward and hastening the day to the coming of our Lord, Yahweh Shai, to the deliverance of the ones that truly believe in his name. All right. The Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and served its purpose. With that, I'd like to say, Kyle Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harikah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles, great millstone, and my elder Harold as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Shalom.